everybody. My name is Sabrina. I'm coming to you from the great state of Virginia. And this is my video podcast. I've been doing podcasts for, several months now. And I've had moderate success. I've got listeners from all over the world, which is amazing. And across the United States, too. Boy, I look rough. I've been working on my house today. But I thought I'd give you a short little presentation today through YouTube. And this is kind of a test run. And I really have maybe a topic or two I don't have anything in front of me. I've got a notebook, but there's nothing on it. I won't even be using it. Excuse me. Anyway, my allergies are acting up. Excuse me. Anyway, I thought I would do a little test run today. And to see what you thought. Again, I'm from Virginia. My name is Sabrina. I may rename the whole podcast. I've been using Anchor, Anchor, and it's done really well, but it's just audio. And I thought I'd throw some video in to boot. I really enjoy podcasts. I didn't realize how much I would like them until the last year or so. There are 2, 3 I especially love. I love TED TV and stuff like that too. As you can see, it's probably backwards, but Virginia Tech is my team. I'm a graduate of Virginia Tech, one of the 2 primary schools in Virginia, 2 of the best, UVA and Virginia Tech. And Virginia Tech is one of the best engineering schools in the country. They're one of the best schools in the country, period. They're a great school. Ever since I was little, I wanted to go there. I was born and raised in Virginia, and I really love it here. Where I'm at now, where I'm producing this right now, is not where I'll be doing this from forever. This is just totally temporary, just a quick setup. Anyway, I thought I'd touch on a main topic or two. My other podcasts have been on animals and body language and self-confidence and all those, lots of things. Things that have happened to me in my life, things that are kind of weird or funny. Anyway, today I like to touch on one kind of paranormal-ish. Paranormal. I've always liked the paranormal, and that is odd because I'm very concrete when it comes to science. I took, of course, all the advanced classes in high school, all the advanced classes in physics in college at Virginia Tech. My first 2 years, because I didn't know what my major would be. I was really floundering around. I finally picked one, I'll tell you later, but I've been a teacher most of my life, and some of it was science. But I was a coach, I was an athlete way back when, but science is like my thing. I geek out on it. I really like it. And I know it's, kind of nerdy, but it's so interesting. Well, I'll tell you, I've been on this planet well over half of a decade. Half of a century. And 57, I'll just go ahead and tell you. And I just love science, and I love what it's got done for me in my life. Now, here's a slight conundrum. I'm religious. I believe in God, but I know enough about science to know that we don't know anything yet. We're still infants in the scientific arena. We don't know a lot. They want to come up with one grand equation that explains physics and all that. They can't do it. They've got Einstein and, large physics for, larger things like bodies in motion, the earth, planets, stars. Then there's quantum mechanics, which is, oh my Lord, it's so fascinating. A lot of people don't understand it. It's hard to understand because correlations don't work like you'd usually think. Anyway, this brings me to where I'm talking about the paranormal today. I was going to tell you real quick, my religious background, because of my science intrigue, I've learned that we don't know anything yet. God could be right here and we wouldn't know it. It'd be, there's plenty of room for interpretation. So, a lot of people can't make the two work, but I have, and I'm happy with it, and it works for me. Anyway, today is paranormal. Today I'm going to touch on the paranormal. Some of you may have heard of a gentleman named Bob Lazar. In the early to mid 90s, he was hired to work in Area 51, actually just outside of it. This is, the mountain ranges that surround Area 51. Back in the day, you could go up in the mountains and use telescope, binoculars. You could see what was going on, not in the buildings, of course, but you could see a lot of the flights. Well, they had a land grab. They bought up all the land, and now pretty much Area 51. Well, shoot, they didn't even recognize Area 51 way back then. Something's popping up on here, a message. Anyway, I'm getting used to this format too. Anyway, Bob Lazar, he was hired pretty much straight out of college, smart fellow, into material science, physics, very well educated. And I know some of you are going to say, oh no, she's going to talk about UFOs and all that. And I am in a way. And I've seen some weird stuff in my life. And I love astronomy, the study of the stars, the planets, those kinds of things. Not astrology, that's numbers. And I'm not into that. Not that there's anything wrong with it. But astronomy is very different. It's much more scientifically based. But I've always loved the stars and the planets. Even when I was a little kid, I loved it. And I didn't even halfway understand it. But I've self-taught a lot of my life, especially with the onset of cell phones and things such as that. Excuse me. But anyway, Bob Lazar, early to mid 90s, he was hired. He was in his 20s, young kid, and he was introduced to some very strange things. One of the first things he encountered was something called a gravity maker, and that sounds silly, but you'll see why in a second. A machine that created gravity and the effects thereof. He described it as about a basketball half dome shape, the actual machine itself, and the lower half was a metal plate, and it could elevate and all kinds of stuff and move in strange fashions. And it's just fascinating. I could go on and on. Well, they were very selective in what they told him about these items, or this item. And supposedly, when he was filling out all his paperwork, there's so much security and all that, they said that these items, there were, I think he said 15 or 16 of these ships, not the actual gravity maker itself, but actual ships for humanoid type creatures. And people at the time scoffed at him. They laughed. He mentioned an element at the time, element 115, which did not exist at that time. Now it is on our chemical table, the elements, the chemical element chart. But it wasn't then. So a lot of what he said back then didn't make a lot of sense, but now it's beginning to. He was kind of a pop icon. People made fun of him. It ruined his life pretty much. And he does not really like talking about it. But some of his stuff has come up again. Material science has changed. Things have become very interesting. And anyway, I'll tell you just a little bit about it. And then I'm going to be quiet. This is kind of my test run here. Just to see the lighting. And my dog's back here going blah, 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 blah. Just to see what's going on. Anyway. Well, he was the gentleman that worked there before him in his position, so to speak, was killed working on this thing. Apparently, they tried to take it apart, and you can't do that with this item, whatever it was. But it produced gravity, and gravity, gravity is what keeps the moon from flying far away. It keeps it going around the Earth, and gravity is what keeps the Earth going around the sun. Gravity is what makes this item fall to the ground. Newton, Apple, gravity, that kind of stuff. Einstein went into great detail about it, and he discovered a lot of things that gravity does. It can alter space and time. It's amazing stuff. But we know nothing about creating gravity. We can't do it. It's like explaining to an ant in an ant pile how a color TV works. Just not gonna happen. We're so infantile in the scientific world, and we've made great strides, no doubt. But what we do know is very limited. Dark energy, dark matter, these things we don't know anything about. I'm seeing a warning on my thing. Now, this is a test run. It's about to shut off any second now, I believe. But we'll see. And some spam is calling. Sorry, I'm going to put my thumb right here.